Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Libras in mid-April? It's Aries season, my good friends. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Libra in mid-April. What do we got? What's the vibe? What's the energy for the lovely Libra collective? Let's get this card nice and quick. Cool. This is a very introspective, layered type of energy I always pick up with this card. And it does have shades that remind me of the Hierophant. But this energy is not looking outward for some reason. It's looking inward. So again, remember, this could be someone else's energy. Very, very spiritual vibe here. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. Very interesting symbolism we got going on. So we see this individual, they are blindfolded, they're hoodwinked, and it looks like they're searching through all of these different spiritual emblems, right? We have all these different forms of spirituality. So obviously with the eyes covered, that's not looking at the material world, literally feeling their way through the spiritual. So for those of you that are energetically sensitive, this is one of my cards of energetic sensitivity, where that might be heightened a little bit. You might be feeling a lot of things, feeling a lot of feelings. This could be literal spiritual practice, spiritual information. You might be going down rabbit holes when this is here. Nothing wrong with that. We all do it from time to time. My only thing with the blindfold, it always reminds me of the Two of Swords, which can sometimes be confusion or indecision. So watch out for that in this time. But this is great for any sort of spiritual work or spiritual endeavor, whether you're practicing it or whether Spirit's hinting at you to do so. But yeah, anything with a blindfold can indicate some unseen aspects as well. So we're going to put it down there. Watch out for the mystery, the unknowns, the what ifs. We're going to let that card chill out, though. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Libras. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled The Big Problem. Now, problems, just like everything, they come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's from another person, whether it's a situation itself. Like there was something that showed up that looked semi-significant. So I'm hoping that wasn't the case for a lot of you, that there wasn't someone being problematic or just an energy itself that felt a little rough. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the lovely Libras. What do we have in mid-April, please? Quick, star. Cool. Similar. Very similar with the spiritual vibe. Really like this star. In its positive aspect, it's really great for like hope, the future. It's very optimistic. It's very optimistic. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. Hermit. Okay. Withdrawn. So again, we're still in this like very quiet, secluded spiritual state for some reason. Listen, I get it. Sometimes Libras need a little bit of alone time. It's possible, especially with this card. Let's get one more. Let's get one more, then we'll piece this all together. So what do we got? Okay. So we got the death card right here on the back end, which we'll look at. Don't get freaked out about that. All major arcana here, my good friends. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles as a bonus. Interesting. You're the only one so far that's gotten a bonus this week. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, we have a lot of stuff here. And I always like to look at the elements because that really frames the reading and tells us how the energy is flowing. And you have a good mix. That's the one really positive thing, because we have this, which is air. That's your power element, even though we see someone playing in the water, and that's the Aquarius card. That's air element. We have earth, water, a little bit more earth. So it's split evenly. There's a lot of different things. So again, whether these are completely different situations or just very powerful energy, and there is this shrouded aspect to it as well. Now, when it comes to air, as I mentioned, that's your power element, that's your comfort zone. Air represents the logical, pragmatic mind. Air represents information and knowledge. So whether you're searching for it, like we had with this guy in the very beginning, whether you're processing it, it's great for communication as well. The only downside to too much air, yes, it can be a little overthinky. Air can also be a little aloof, cold, and detached. So we want to keep an eye on that. Here in the center, we have Earth. That's security, inner feelings of stability and security. When I see Earth, I think of day to day life. I think of routine. I think of things that we do normally. Earth is great when it comes to money, work, finances, anything regarding earthly abundance, home, and family. The only downside to Earth, it can feel a little slow, it can feel a little clunky, and sometimes a little boring. Here on the back end, we have water. So that's the emotional realm. So you see, we have a lot of different things. So it's like we have the logical mind, then we have the earthly realm, now we have the emotional. Uh, don't get nervous about that card. And, I have a thing about the death card. I actually think it could be a good thing. But when it comes to the element itself, it's just matters of the heart, things that we are emotionally invested in, things that we care about. Uh, it could be creativity, it could be a creative expression, could be partnerships. All that stuff could be in play with water. The only downside with water is that it can get very heavy very quickly, and the tides are always coming and going. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the star. We're starting with probably, arguably, the best card in this spread so far, and one of the best ones in the deck. And we see the water bearer here going in and filling up the jug. Now, for those of you with Aquarius placements, this could just be it. If you're connected to an Aquarius, that's what the star is. And I like this card because I don't just think of today or tomorrow or next week. This is like big picture thinking. When I see star, I think of things that could be off in the distance. So like the full life's journey, how you look in the long run. This is always a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a silver lining. So this is hope. This is wish fulfillment. Beautiful card. So there's a lot of great aspects to it. But when we get to the darker side of the star, it can absolutely represent like depression. It could represent hopelessness or like having a hard time seeing the silver lining. So again, I'm not saying that's you. It could be someone you're connected to, but we're going to stick to the positive message until we clarify at the very least. Now, moving to the center, we have the Hermit. This is a very retracted, pulled back type of energy, big Virgo vibe. So if you're connected to any Virgo or have Virgo placements, boom, we have it right here. And when I see the Hermit, it's pulling its energy back. And I was saying that with this very first card in the beginning, where it's like, a lot of this energy isn't facing outward, it's facing inward. And that's exactly what this card does. Now, the good thing about the Hermit, spirituality, spiritual ritual, meditation, prayer, going inward, it's huge for that. It's very wise. There's so much wisdom through experience that shows up with this Hermit card. Just there's a lot of depth here. The downside to the Hermit is that it could be isolated. It can represent loneliness. The Hermit can represent miscommunications, longing for something potentially. That's a big thing here. And since the Hermit is usually depicted at nighttime, it's there could be a mystery attached to it, right? But notice that the Hermit's always holding a lantern, and within that lantern is a star, just like this one. So even though like both of these cards do take place, they take place at night, there's a silver lining. So even if you are going through some difficulties or things aren't optimal, both of these cards hold a silver lining. We'll just have to see. Moving to the back end, we have the Death card, and I said I have a thing about this card, which I do. Big Scorpio energy here. So if you have Scorpio placements like myself, this can be another representative of that. And I look at this card and I think about how in popular media and culture, whenever you see a fortune teller or someone slinging tarot cards, 10 out of 10 times they're going to pull that damn death card out, right? And it's like, oh, so scary, so scary. It's not that. Like when I see the death card, even though the imagery is scary, to me, it's more about change, metamorphosis, transformation, as opposed to just seeing endings, because this card can represent endings. I see it more as a metamorphosis, right? Phoenix rising from the ashes, old version falling away, new version awakening. So I like this. But does that mean that there are no darker sides to the death card? No, it does mean that, yes, this can represent endings. It can represent chapters closing and all that kind of stuff. It's not an easy energy to work with. But just like the rest of the cards in this spread, I feel like there's a silver lining attached to all of it. Here on the back end, we have the Seven of Pentacles as your bonus. Remember, this is another little footnote. We see this person sitting by that bush, waiting on those pentacles to grow. The thing I like about it is it's an energy of something paying off. So whether it's hard work and diligence or a process you're going through, this is very good for payoffs. It is a karmic card of reaping what you sow. This is also karmic, could be argued with the star as well. So there's a lot of powerful energy for you this week. The only downside with the Seven of Pentacles, it could be a very frustrated type of energy. So just again, watch out for various types of frustrations or impatience. But I want to dive deeper on all this, Libra. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the star. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you can drop it down in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, star time. What do we got? Why is the star here for Libra? Cool. Cool. All right, so we have the Lovers in the upright. This is really, really nice. Really nice. Now, I always like to preface this by saying that the Lovers, yes, it can be romance. Yes, it could be someone that you are romantically tied to. It doesn't always have to be. This could also represent a very good friend, a very close family member, soul bond, soul connection, someone where it's like I've known you before. Where it's like, even if I just met you, it feels like I've known you before. So I love the star combination with the Lovers. Now, could there be somebody holding out a bit of hope about something? Absolutely. Not saying it's you, it could be someone else, where maybe there is a person where their influence brightens your day, or there is a person where their opinions, their thoughts help you see things in a different perspective. That's what I'm picking up here. Could you be doing that for somebody else as well? Absolutely. Where this isn't just a person in your life, maybe you are the star lovers combination in someone else's, where they might be going through something, they might be going through a time, and your perspective, your thoughts could shine a different light and say, you know what? All is not lost. Like, there is still beautiful energy here. Now, the Lovers, Archangel Raphael, the Archangel of Healing here. So this is really good. If there is something difficult you're processing or going through, when I see the star with the Lovers, this is an energy that you will heal through. This is an energy you will work through. Very confident with that here. If it's not a Gemini or a soul bond or soul connection, I always say that the Lovers to me can be karmic, but it's also a silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going type of energy. So sometimes in life we don't know why things happen the way they do. um, it's hard for us to know everything as human beings, right? So when I see the star and the Lovers, there is that trust that something is going to work out for me. Even if I don't know how I'm going to get from A to B, even if I don't know how or why or this or that, I trust that everything is going to work out. That's why I get this holding out hope here, which I think is beautiful. I think it's claimable. So let's keep moving. So we have that. We have somebody helping with perspective. That's a really good overall energy. Even if you're not dealing with anything interpersonal, like just overall, very positive, very angelic. So let's go in on the Hermit. Let's see what that has. That was interesting. A lot of specifics there. So why is the Hermit here? Okay. Knight of Pentacles. There could be a process or something you're working through or working with that Spirit really wants you to take your time with it. Huge. So the Knight of Pentacles could be an earth sign type of energy. And I always say they're very detailed, they're very meticulous. That is an energy that is in no rush whatsoever. So when I see that underneath the Hermit, there's no rush. Take your time. Do what you got to do. So again, I'm not sure if someone's literally told you that or you're going to tell somebody that. Like, why are you frantic? Why are you rushing? There's no need to rush. Just do what you got to do. I don't know why it's coming through that way. Now, I can say this as well. The Hermit with the Knight of Pentacles is a messenger, right? Just like all knights. They represent action, they represent messages. And I saw something similar, I think maybe in the Aries reading this week, or maybe even Leo, where there's someone really taking their time to decide what they want to say before they say it. So yeah, when I see the Hermit with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, I'm not going to rush this. I really want to take my time with what I'm about to say. So like there is this energy of like an unexpected or a surprising talk, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it prior. So again, if you do have like a major conversation coming up or a major topic that you want to discuss with somebody, there's no rush behind it. And there's someone at the very least that's really thinking it through, where it's like, if we ever talk again, I'm going to say this, or next time we talk, I'm going to say it like that. You know, like how you plan conversations ahead of time. That's how this feels to me. But aside from that, there's someone going through a process where it's like there's no rush, take your time. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep going. Let's see what the death card has. So there's a lot of specifics here this week, Lever. Just take whatever hits for you. I mean, for some of you, maybe these themes will pop up throughout the week, for all we know. But let's see what's up with the death card. What's going on with the death card? Okay, cool. So we have the 10 of Cups in the upright. This is like an energy that's like a double negative and can cancel itself out sometimes. But I'm not just reading it particularly in that way. So the 10 of Cups is one of the most positive cards in this whole entire deck. And much like Libra energy, half of this spread is beautiful, amazing, the brightest, bright light energy there could be. And the other half is the darker side. So I do have this yin yang type of energy showing up, even when we get here to the back end. Now, the Ten of Cups is wish fulfillment, and I always like to say there is one constant in life, and that everything is inconsistent, right? Like things are always going to change, whether we wanted to, whether we don't. Everything is in a constant state of shift, constant state of metamorphosis, but sometimes it happens when we're not ready. Sometimes it happens and it's much more impactful than we thought it would be. So, like when I see the death card with the 10 of Cups, like this is something that either ended before I was ready for it to, or something that I really, really loved, something I really, really liked. There could have been an ending involved with something like that. Like it is hitting me right in my heartstrings here, Libra. But I also feel like this can actually be a change in the positive, believe it or not. So whether it's for a specific dynamic or a situation, because remember what I said up here in the beginning, we don't know how things happen. We don't know why things happen the way they do. But there's just something important to really trust the process, that whether the best of the best is happening, whether the difficult aspects are happening, that we trust that things are working out for us, not against us. So I think a lot of this spread this week is more about mindset more than anything. So I hope you're still picking up what I'm putting down, my friends. So yes, we have this big shift or change, potential ending of something that either it ended before I was ready or it's something I really cared about. But at the same time, I feel like it's still working in my favor somehow. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. So there is a very dynamic reading for you this week, Libra. A lot of great things, a lot of light, a little bit of dark, right? And this conversation really interests me. But if you look here in the box, position number one, we have the star with the lovers. Well, whether this is your imprint on someone's life, their imprint on yours, where it's like their perspective and how they view things and how they frame things really helps me see the brighter side of things. I just love the hope that I get from this. It does feel like somebody potentially holding out hope in somebody else. That's very possible with what I'm seeing here. But overall, great long term looking energy where it's like, okay, that looks good. Things will work how they need to work. Moving to the middle, we have the Hermit with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, yes, could this be like a surprising, unexpected talk or message? Sure. But to me, there's like a lot of planning that goes into it. If there's a situation or a process you're working through, Spirit's like, don't rush it. Take your time. Just let it flow. Get into that flow state. There is no rush, because that's a very strong energy I was picking up. But I do get this conversation that it's like someone building up the the gusto to do it, right? It's like I want to discuss this, I want to bring this forth, but I need to build up the courage and I need to know what I'm going to say prior. So there's something here about a talk. Moving to the back end, we have Death with the Ten of Cups. Now, to me, it either shows the dynamic, the dark light dynamic. Um, it does speak of the big change that we all experience, and this can absolutely represent an ending. But there's something here about believing, knowing, and holding tight to that faith that everything is working for us, even when it seems like it's not. So there's something here about mindset. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further, Libra. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. Thank you. Cool. Ace of Pentacles. So another bright side, and that does seem to be another theme we've been seeing throughout this reading as a whole, is like we have the dynamic of dark and light and the yin yang, and then even with the dark, we have the light at the end of the tunnel, and even in the shadows, we have the Ace of Pentacles, right? The golden opportunity from the universe. Now, the thing with the Ace of Pentacles, and I'll give you the shadow side of it too, to me, it is a gift from the universe. So for somebody, maybe you got something great coming in that you don't even see coming. Beautiful. But for those of you dealing with certain things, aces are strong when it comes to communication, very similar to that Knight of Pentacles. Messages talk. So this does fit this bill with what we saw right here in the center. And there is this energy that takes its time. But a huge thing with aces is that they're limited time only, right? It's an energy that has a lot of great potential. So to me, this is like a maybe, where it's like, should I do that? Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. But at some point with the Ace of Pentacles, there will be no choice. Right? I hate saying it like that, but these energies are fleeting. Okay, so I know we were talking about no rush and all that. Hopefully, we just claim this as something beautiful and amazing that Spirit's sending you that you don't even see yet. So, Libra, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.